when the day begins rolling in through from the night. Been awake 4 damn days, still ain't nothing right. As I look at my wife so peaceful, I know it's just a matter of time when she wakes again and I hear her lose her mind. It's hard enough having the kids taken away. For the lies they spread have made it this way. I know you won't hear the truth, and that is not your fault. So I've been writing these songs to put in this vault. Every day without you is so friggin' long. Looking at the calendar, I wonder where has the time G1. All I do is bury my head in books to one day get back my kid they took. I never imagined this would be my life. We loved you so much, we never let you go. But when they came for you, I didn't know what to do. Waving from the back window is what I saw. My little girl in caseworker taking off. It wasn't fair, no one cared. That's what happened the day I lost. Why did this have to be us? There was nothing wrong, in God we trust. I challenge you, God, why is it me? He answers back, who would you rather it be? I don't know quite how to answer. Is it a challenge or is it an answer? Regardless of the choice, I still miss that voice that used to say, Daddy, I love you, good night. God, please do me a solid. You have all the worldly knowledge. Does she remember my name? Is she in pain? Will I ever see her again? I'm still asking the question every day, just waiting for him to shout out and say, but I don't hear a damn thing. I see an empty swing, and back in the books is where I'll be. Every day with and without you is so friggin' long. Looking at the calendar, I wonder where has the time G1. All I do is bury my head in books to one day get back my kid they took. My kid they took. Every day without you is so freaking long. Looking at the calendar, I wonder where has the time G1. All I do is bury my head in books to one day get back my kid they took. I never imagined this would be my life. We loved you so much, we never let you go. But when they came for you, I didn't know what to do. Waving from the back window is what I saw.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPUFist.com is leading the way. Join us.
What is up, everybody? This is CPS Punisher. This is CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. It is Monday evening, and we are back at the grind. As always, we got the chat over here on the right. We've got... Hopefully, I'm not giving you guys an echo. Can someone give me an echo check? Is this microphone messing up? Because it was earlier, and I can't tell. So if someone could let me know, that would be great right here in the chat. Sorry about that if it is. But we got the chat over here to the right. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. And, we can get this channel out there so more people can see more things. And we got shows going all day long, guys. We got Kim's back, so we got Turn the Page going. We've got Danielle out there with Unmasking Foster Care Corruption. We've got Amy out there with her Blood Money and Home Destruction. So we got plenty of shows out there. We got Bringing Back Brenda. We've got Obsidians, The Truth Prevails. We've got Gunning for CPS. I mean, we got such an array of shows, guys, that it is just incredible. And it's a lot of information that we can hand up. There's a lot of personal stories. There's just a lot of things that we go through in a day, a lot of information. So make sure, you're not just checking out this show, you're checking out, and obviously Tiff and the Punisher, which lights up the nights. So, and then Danielle and Brenda some nights do a late night show. So, make sure you sign up for the notifications, because you might find that they're popping on at some weird hour and taking answers and questions and things like that. So let's see, guys, what's going on in the world here. Let's take a look here. What do we got? Let's change the music. What's up, ladies? How are we tonight? All right, let's take a look at the news. What do we got going on tonight? All right. There we go. Guys, what are you thinking about the movement? What are we thinking about the direction of the movement? I don't think I've been feeling down and out about it. I just feel like we're missing something here. We're missing something like the gas. We're missing something we need some sort of a catalyst for this. We need a catalyst that is going to light this thing up. That's going to really take this thing over. I know we were talking about earlier the need, like my feelings of, I just don't feel like this thing is. I know that we're rocking on all cylinders, guys, and I know that we're all working hard towards things, but I'm just feeling like we need some sort of an ignition, and I don't know what that is. Maybe you can help. Maybe you guys can help let me know what that is. Oh, very awesome, Athena. This had good news, right? Notified today that there's a new GAL entering the case. If the one that you've had has been a bastard, like I believe that they have, I believe that that's great information. So good for you. Yeah, I just don't feel like we're missing something here, guys. We're missing something we need to fire off. And I don't know what that is. So if you know what it is, or you think you have an idea what this is, then let me know. Because I'm just kind of stuck here, and I don't know if I'm just in a plateau myself, or if I don't know. Maybe between Benny and Herbert not being around, and like all of that, when you have that normalcy in your life, and you get used to things, and then they go away. Maybe that unsettling feeling is making me feel, I don't know, making me feel a little, not normal. But here, Danielle's in the house. What's up, D?
What's up? Had to
How
come.
you doing?
I saw you on. I was like, I was been waiting for the show. I keep thinking it's like 11 o'clock, not, and I always miss it. But no, what's going on? I saw you on and wanted to jump in.
Yeah, here I am.
Been trying to do this for 3 days now. I swear to God, like the other night, I was like, "Where'd he go?" And then I was an hour late.
Oh yeah, well the other night I had to jump off because of my mother-in-law had to get rushed to the hospital. So I had
Oh, is she okay?
Yeah, she's back home. They decided to take her infection, so that she was all right. So
Well, she's doing better.
So, but yeah, she's getting better.
Good. Good.
So that's
Hey,
cool.
everyone. Good. Good.
What do you got going on? You got any news?
Not really. Just that. Well, I mean, I'm just my daughter is voicing herself on TikTok. That's about it right now. And then tomorrow. Wait, what time is it? Okay, tomorrow night I go see Marjorie Taylor Greene at 6:00.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And I've been. It was a last minute thing because what happened is she had a post on Facebook, I think it was, or something, and I seen it, and you have to register for it, and I jumped on that, and then boom, and it's me and like 9 other people, and we'll be able to sit with her, and it was pretty cool. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't think they'd accept me because I wasn't in the county.
You're actually going there. You're actually going there.
Yes, at 6:00 tomorrow.
You're actually going to go and see her?
Yes. Like she will be. And
oh wow, that's
it's not even in the county that I thought they would kick me out because that's how I got in touch with that other congressman, Barry Loudermilk, because I wasn't in her district. But no, they gave me a confirmation thing and called today to follow up and make sure I would still be there. So there's me and 9 other people. So I figured if anybody wants to like send me anything that I need to take with me, or I'm gonna try to be on the live because it's about the same time my live is. So I want to see what. Hey everybody, I want to see. I want to try to be live when I'm there, so we can all and see how it goes and see.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
You're going to try to do live while you're in the interview?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Wow.
I mean, because right now, the hottest commodity right now is for the election is John Ossoff and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump's wanting Marjorie Taylor Greene to knock his socks off, and he is freaking out. Like he is. I mean, you got to think he. Sometimes I wonder he'll probably jump on any little plan that comes his way that sounds good, because he's all about political gameship right now. Because he is sweating this election. It's serious. I mean, because because that is going to be the hottest one out there, and that's here in Georgia. And I'm right there in the middle of it, so but
That's crazy.
and with him. I figured John Ossoff would have been one that he did that 13-month investigation, right? Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Right.
And he did that 13-month investigation with Marsha Blackburn, I believe. And I don't understand why they did not investigate the part of the reasonable efforts or removals. They just pretty much brushed it under the rug and went on about because they gave every parent the same answer. Our reviews were satisfactorily reviewed and satisfactorily resolved. I went back through all my emails with the subcommittee yesterday, and I'm like, you guys. So I'm like, wonder if I should go see Ossoff too. I've been wondering, hey, something's got to get.
So what is their drive? What is Marjorie Taylor Greene? What is her deal? What is she trying to? What are they trying to accomplish for what we're looking forward? What we're looking
Honestly, that's why I wanted to go see her face to face, because and talk with her, because I don't know. She's like bouncing everywhere. I see in the political, like, wherever she can get growth, like people, I get like the views and the likes or whatever, and she jumps everywhere, because so I can't really say what she's doing about this particular what we're going through, because I haven't heard her talk much about it. I don't know if anybody out there has, but I haven't really. It's always about the what is it, the tariffs, and then there was something else. So I mean, and she hasn't really said much about this whole the child welfare system and foster care system and the stuff and the whole new judges account, all that, like reform or anything. I haven't. I don't know if anybody else has heard her say much, but I haven't. I don't know. Have you, Darren? I mean, I don't have my computer.
I know I haven't. So we were talking about this earlier on the earlier show, or I was talking about it more or less, and I'm getting not discouraged, but I'm kind of getting more angry.
Yes.
I think. Like, when are we going to start talking about what the real issue is, and that's the fact that they're stealing kids?
I was.
Like, when is, because they're not talking
I was
about
reading
that.
about Marshall. This Insurrection Act coming up supposedly on 4/20.
Yeah, the 1807 insurrection that he signed.
Trump signed an executive order back on his inauguration day for the southern borders, right? So, and it was to hold on. Where's my book? I wrote down what I wanted. Because I don't ever say it right. I never do. I screw it up every time. But I mean, I was looking into this the other day, and when I read, because I was like, martial law, I was like, wait a minute, and automatically I was thinking of the Purge, and I'm like, so me, I'm just, I'm like, so I went to research it. So I jumped on YouTube and Google and all that. And so on his inauguration day, he signed an executive order declaring the national emergency at those southern borders, right? But he tasked the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security with whether it would be appropriate to use the Insurrection Act. And so what they're going to have to do is by April 20th, they're supposed to provide him with a report of what's like how bad it is down there, I guess. And that's where he's going to decide. Right. Well, that deadline is April 20th. So that's where that's what that's for. But then it went into, this is where I took it as, okay, so, when they declare martial law, that means the military's coming in. They're going to replace our law enforcement, like our local law enforcement. Well, you got to think about it. These states are not even enforcing federal law. So you know what? Maybe they need to do that to call these states out on their shit. Pardon my French, but maybe that's what I was thinking. That maybe that is because that's what because that's what it said, that they need to come in and they need to enforce the federal law. And that's what I was told. That's what I understood from this, because these states are not enforcing it, and that's why they're going to bring the military in, because that's what happens when they declare martial law. That's one of the things up under it. They bring the military in because federal law is not being enforced.
They're not following
exactly,
the rules.
and
right.
and since it's a nationwide failure in the system. I've thought that maybe that's a big way to maybe that they are going to, and I've heard it in the cracks, over the last 2 years, I've heard people talking about it, but they never brought up martial law, but they were just talking about the military. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe that might be what's maybe going to happen. I don't know. Do I have a good feeling about it? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm leaning more towards yeah, because I believe that is maybe going to be our answer, as an answer to what we're asking, because it's so bad with the child welfare nationwide in every state. And they are still it's like they're laughing in the federal government's face. So you know what? Let's crack the whip and let's get it over with, And that's what I was, because it's so. I think they realize it's so bad, and it's so Like these people are so complacent, and these states have kept so much from the federal government and screwed them over that it's time to pull the, you know, pull the reins back, you know, and
the people that are doing this have completely overrun our government, and that's it. They've just, so maybe that is, maybe you are right. I mean, as scary as it is to think of martial law,
I don't even,
you know, Trump's talking about getting rid of all these federal judges, and he's talking about all this, but maybe to do that, you have to implement this, because there's going to be such a big void in the government when he fires everybody, that you need to have something in place to make sure that
it's gonna be a rough time. Be prepared, and that's why it was like a week or two away. I think. When's the 20th? Next week or something? Like they usually we would hear about something like this like 2 months ago, not right here at the last minute, and they're telling you 2 weeks, get prepared, prepare yourself. And for me to not be like I said, I'm a virgin when it comes to politics or anything. Like you know, and for me to get that feeling after reading what I read about the Insurrection Act, and then what I read about his inauguration and the southern borders, and then what martial law consists, like what it can do with the military when they call the military in, and it said that there were certain things, and that was one of them, was since the federal laws aren't being enforced, that's when they will call they would, and they did it one other time years ago. I think I had it wrote down. I thought it was like in it was a long time ago, but and that's the reason why, was because the federal law wasn't being enforced. But think about, and I mean, I'm BSing on this, but I was wondering, I was like, well, maybe that's why, that remember the Adoption Assistance and Child Welfare Act of 1980, I believe. I wonder if, because that's when they started coming up with that public law 96-272 or whatnot. But the thing is that they had to come up with that because these states were screwing them over when it comes to the funding. So, I mean, but there's so much and so bad with it now, and so comfortable in doing it. It's a lot further in and deeper. And maybe Trump and them are seeing something that we're not, but we know. And this is where it comes with the hidden foster care, the isolate. That's why, and I've always wondered, and there has been no transparency to this stuff. We're gonna find out a lot more than what we want to, y'all. I promise you. So prepare yourselves. I hope
that we do find it. I hope I hope that there's remedy for those that have been affected.
There's gonna be what?
That's what I'm hoping. That there's a remedy for those that have been affected by this. You know, like people like me, and you know, the millions of others that lost their kids. You know, like what's the fix?
My son, you know, and that's what caught my attention, because you know, like I said, I'm new to all this. I've been at the. I mean, you got to think, when my family and my kids and me, there was guardianship orders that were in place for over a decade, and then CPS was never involved in our lives ever. And then all of a sudden, my mother passes away unexpectedly, and by false information or allegations, they come in and just rip my family apart. And then now it's like, whoa. So my son is, I mean, how can you, you know what is it they say? If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. And that's exactly one of those situations. Because let me put this out there. Everybody that was watching my show the other day when I was talking about like recovery, and I read my speech. Well, y'all gotta realize, when I wrote that speech, that was 2015, and my kids were with my family, but that was like during all that. Why didn't they step in then and try to do something when I got in a drug? It was
you actually needed their assistance.
Yeah, right. So
when they should have done.
Yeah, instead of at the end here when my kids are almost adults and you like totally terrorize my son. Like, my son has regressed horribly. He used to be on the Asperger's, mild, you know, on the spectrum, and like I was going back on videos and stuff on my OneDrive, and it has 2 years has totally, it's almost gotten back to baby mode. Like that's how bad it is, and but he's getting better. He is now. You know, there's hiccups with that right now, but you know, as long as he's safe, and he's doing good. But now we just
as long as then you know, any place is better than that.
Because my biggest worry, and did you know that they were about to my son was up for adoption out there in Texas. Yeah,
How the hell did they do that?
They-
How do they put
they
your
were
son
gonna
up
adopt.
with 18 and
They
19,
were.
and put him up for adoption? That's absolutely
There was
asinine.
there was someone or some place interested, because they have been introducing my. And I was wondering if these van rides that my son was going on, was that where he was going? Because that's a lot of van rides, you know. Like, where were they? They were pushing to get my son out of the picture, out of my life, because my son was a hot commodity when it come to money. Oh boy, because they thought he was an
Yeah,
orphan.
he's
Yeah,
worth money.
and that boy.
You know, he's worth the money that they have to house him. If he's got to be put into an institution, he's worth
And
all
then
of
they
that.
paid.
So he's millions and millions
They
of
paid
dollars.
a provider 24/7 to stay with him. They hoteled him. This guy. I'm granted he was decent. He was good, but how could they make him the school told me, because I asked when he was withdrew from school. They told me that I wasn't on the contact list. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, there's a guardian. Well, kind of find out they done made this guy the legal guardian of my son when, like, right before he ended up going to Texas. I was like, what? So, and then all the whole situation with my son and my daughters, it's all because my daughter the other day on TikTok posted a comment. She said, "Well, I should have never signed over full custody." I said, "What? What are you talking about?" That right there,
That never happened.
I never did.
Right. That just shows you that someone's screwing pooch.
Custody and guardianship is two totally different ballgames. So, and this is the aunt. This is the daughter that the aunt that did this with my son. So, and it's crazy that I'm not. I'll let my daughter speak out, yes, but she's not gonna sit there and put me down to.
No, the line has to be drawn. Right, a line has to be drawn. Like,
There's
it's fine to let her be
boundaries
angry,
because-
but she's not going to.
Yes, because the guardian is actually on my TikTok right before she starts commenting, and she liked one of my things, and I'm like, yeah, there's that doesn't look, that's not cool. Like, don't come on here provoking. I don't, but hey, I let her speak out. She's bringing awareness to horrible parents. Okay, I just want to. That's okay. But there's a fine line. I understand if you want to bring awareness.
Get your facts straight. Get your facts straight. If you're going to bring things
And
out like that, get
how
your facts
she's
straight.
coming at me now, it's different than when she first started. Okay, if you're bringing awareness, don't go attacking people that are on my followers list. That is wrong. That are with this channel, with like Miss Brenda. Don't do that. That's not cool. That is bullying,
Right.
and we're not doing that. That is not gonna happen. Like, you're targeting people now, hun. And my daughter, for her to be a minor, come on, she's got to learn it from somebody. But I'm not gonna sit here and talk bad about her. But the thing is there's a fine line you don't cross. There's boundaries. Everybody's got boundaries, and even does social media. There's laws. There's things you just don't do. And and apparently I just don't want her to be saying things that's going to be detrimental for her and me in the future, because right now,
Right.
and the things she's saying they're not true. Like, I understand she's upset with me. I get it. I messed up. I made bad choices. But it'll take time to heal. But don't sit here and keep on saying definitely things that are going to be in the long run is going to make it get me to where I don't because that could. It could. If you don't want to hear my side of the story, and this is my view on it, guys. Okay, and guys and gals. Everybody. And there's two sides to every story. Okay. Understanding it is like a three-edged sword. You got my side, her side, and then the middle, which is the truth. But understanding it. So the thing is if she told me in the comments that she's already heard those stories from multiple sides. I said, no. I said, there's still my side and the other side, which even though we're the same family, still, you've been hearing one side because I'm on this side, apparently I was put on this side. I never knew, but okay. But I can't sit here and say where this aggression came from my family. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I've always wondered, you know, I would always,
Or why?
right. And my mom, you know, I have messages that go back between me and my mother over a decade, y'all. I really do. From the time she passed and way back, it goes back to like 2009, 2008. So, I mean, like, so, and you can tell a big change in my mother over time. I mean, even like my boyfriend said, he's like, your mom the last 5 years was me and her talk like every day. And when I tell you that's a big step for me and my mother, wow. And it meant a lot because, you know, growing up, me and my mom, I never really had that mother. I was like, she was like stern on me, but then again, I'm the girl, I'm her only daughter. And, you know, you always got to keep the girls closer, you know, than the boys, you know, like you already know. Yeah. So I understand my mom was a little bit more protective of me. I totally get it. I totally get it now. Now, when I was younger, that was totally different because now I see it in my 17-year-old. She's just like me, y'all. Oh my gosh. Like, every time I see her talking, I'm like, OMG. Like, wow. Now I know what my mom was talking about.
What's coming up? What's coming up now? What does this mean?
But,
right, because you don't just hear from her for a happy day, like, hey, Danielle, how are you? No way. This means something's coming.
Yeah, it's such a terrible
thing.
And she even told me don't delete the comments, and I'm not going to. But I understand if she wants to tell me that I'm not her daughter, or she's not my daughter, that's fine. I'm not, and she already has a mom. That's fine too. You know what? You can voice yourself, honey, but you know what? I'm still going to be your mother. I carried you. You were I had you. I birthed you. I created you. Me and your father created you, girl. You know, and her daddy would do anything for her. But she, once again, she's not. When she hears both sides, then maybe it will be. But this child. I just want to put this out. I just hope it don't. I'm gonna be there to protect her, and because I don't want it. She's gonna be hurt when it all comes out of the wash.
But still, something that's unnecessary and shouldn't be going on anyway.
Right, and
like that's the thing here. That's the bottom line. It's like this should have never have happened. You should never be here like this. Your kids shouldn't have been tanked out of your home. They shouldn't. Like, none of that stuff happened. Your parents shouldn't have gone. You know, flipped the script on you. Like none of this. Right. This is all just avoidable drama that someone else has created, a fictitious whatever reason. I mean, it's so bullshit.
Like,
they can't
I
even
asked
tell you what
my
it
family
is.
for help, and my let me tell you, my mother was the only. My mother and my nanny I had 3 kids, John, my son, and then my 2 girls, and they're each with my mom had my son, my aunt, and my cousin had my daughters, and their daughter. And they, out of all these years, I was never alienated or isolated from my son, whether or not it had to be from a phone, a video, or in person, or just a wave. My son was never like my daughters. My daughters, I can't, like, when I tell you isolated, my youngest I hadn't talked to since I got out of prison, just put it that way. And that was 2013. So, and we used to have this little thing where I drew a picture when I was locked up, and it said, "I love you all the way to the moon and the stars," and it had a moon and like a little moon on the man on the moon, you know, and it'd be like a pajama, kind of like a Precious Moments type, but it was like a kid theme, and that was me and my youngest, and then all of a sudden nothing. Like, my youngest, I know she runs track and field, I know that, but that's how much my girls have been. I know. I even found pictures of me and my kids when I was a single mother before my troubled times, before I was incarcerated. I found pictures of them, and I mean, I did. I was a mom. I was a mother. It's not like I never wasn't a mother. There was a time that I wasn't in my children's life. And, you know, I thought about posting those pictures because I can't believe I found them. That was like a godsend right there. That was like a sign, like, holy, because I did not know I still had these pictures. And that just made my day when I found those this morning. And like my little one, she's like a little pit bull, you know, she's a little chunky thing, you know, bald head, and with her little Popeye tooth is cute. I mean, with her little sundress on, you know, but that's the memories I have in my kids. And, you know,
And that's the other thing, you know, like that's what sucks is that they take all of that away from you, and that's not right. They take away, you know, like you're thinking about your daughter being 8 years old or
And she's
whatever,
16.
but when she goes back, she's 18. She's a full
Yeah.
grown
Oh
woman.
yeah.
So you lost all this in
Yeah, like
between.
my 17-year-old, like the memories that I do have, and she would wear princess, like she loved the princess, the Disney princesses. Oh my gosh, this girl was like, my girls were like night and day. One of them was Miss Chrissy, and the other one was like a tomboy. Like, I'll give you a knuckle sandwich, you know. Like my youngest, she's a little country accent way. She's funny. She was me. She was a feisty one. But my oldest one, my 17-year-old, oh, she's 17 now. She's like the prissy one, you know. And they were like, I was like, man, boy, did the Lord bless me with two totally different ball games right there. Like, whoa, like, because I'm not a girly girl. Like, yeah, and I'm not afraid to get. My youngest, I am the tomboy type, but like the prissy, I'm like, yay. But they got my attitude. Yay, oh my gosh, my oldest one, whoa. Yeah. So,
That's
and yeah.
That's the junior.
Well, you think when you ask family for help, and this is family, y'all, family, you would think that they would be ones. And I even over the years, I know I had to. Maybe there was times I needed to keep my distance. Yes, I did mess up, but you know, it was I never went after the guardians. I never punished them and like when I like accused them of stealing my kids. Never ever. I mean, you can go look at Facebook. I thanked them. I would admit in these posts, I would when I thanked them for my mess ups, because you know what, they did something for me that I couldn't do for my kids. They provided a safe, stable home and let them be children. That's something I couldn't do, and I had to face that. That was my problem. That was me. But I had to make a decision for my children. You can't expect me to get out of prison and pull up and be like, hey, let's go. After I mean, I had to learn how to be a mom learn all over again. And then how would that like traumatize my kids? Like, you know,
that's all. The weight of all the trauma is going on the children. Like that's it. They're the ones that are getting their trust barriers destroyed. Everything about them is just being wiped out by these people. And no one's thinking about the long-term picture.
And here I am, you know, and I had to, when I made the decision to do this in 2011, I had to think longevity, because you know what? I was going to be in this. I was in the system myself, which is on the probation. I was in the system, criminal system. So I was on probation, y'all. And y'all know how easily you can mess up on probation, and they come out. And guess what? I'd be back in the center. And where would my kids be then? I had to think about my kids' safety, security, and somewhere that they could be that I couldn't provide for them. And what if there was a time that I couldn't provide? I mean, and that's really how it was. But you know what? My kids were safe. My kids were happy. My kids were and stable and well fed and well loved. And you know what? I wouldn't ask for a better life for my children. And just to know that now my son comes from a loving. I mean, I'm gonna make a video of all the, like, my nanny and everybody, and I just want y'all to see my son over the years. And I'm gonna have my girls in it too, but I want y'all to see and just see how just in a matter of 2 years what the system done to my child. I mean, they isolated him from social society, jeez. And they had him, I know, I was reading on his paperwork, they had him working at some food pantry or something, volunteering. But he could not talk. He was not around. In the child welfare manual, they say that they're supposed to be around their community. No. My son was 4 states away. He knew nobody out there. If my son got out and eloped, guess what? Where would he go? Because he wouldn't know nothing. And he was in the same area that I lived in 2000, like 2 years before he was born. Like, I couldn't believe it. And the ocean. I mean, Galveston is like, you got the ferry there, there's the ocean. And my son loved big bodies of water. He loved water.
Yeah.
He tried to climb water towers when he was little. Oh boy. Yeah, my son, I don't know what, he was on the news one time, just yeah, it's funny. Running up the highway barefoot, trying to go to the river, and I'm like, just waving when the helicopter's going. That's my boy. But that's what's cool about the community like it was a big community, but everybody knew him. Everybody, Danielle, is that your kid? I'd be like, "Ah!" Like, but my son, and for him not to be in the community now, and he's changed. He's a changed man. Like
Well,
he's not.
You said he's regressed, but he's a man now too, though.
Yes,
You know,
and
so
and
that's
he,
the situation.
yeah, and he, well, like when he first went out to that facility, he would always tell, be kind to, and I noticed, I don't know if y'all remember, like me and Carrie talking, like when he was talking about bringing these kids home with him and stuff. Well, there towards the end, he wasn't really, he just got mute, like he wouldn't talk about much. But that's where that's when he got home, that medicine, something triggered him. And something, he was, it's like he was withdrawing off these psychotropic meds. Like, because they didn't even send him like home with the right meds, because the list that I seen was nowhere near. But you can see his, like in that podcast that live show that I did at my aunt's up there, you can see him losing his color in his face from when y'all saw him at the airport. Like he's getting paler, y'all. Like I'm gonna make a video about all this, like, because I think it needs to be, because that's where they're like, that's why I wrote that Georgia's Hidden Scarlet Letter, because of the hidden systematic failures that are not being announced, that are not being told.
Right. And that's the thing, is Trump going to announce it? Are they going to come out and say this stuff? Are they going to be able to pull this out and make the American people listen and see what's going on, and then have the American people come and help us?
I think that's why martial law might be put into effect, because when he goes
to I really hope you're right.
I mean, I can't say yay and I can't say nay, because right now I'm leaning more towards, because this is such, like, everybody, what's the big question everybody's asking there? Like, what's the biggest question? Like, you were talking, when you were talking tonight, and that's when I jumped in. What were you were saying? Like, you wish, because now we're starting to get, because nobody's hearing us. It's like we're not being heard. But nobody's finding the answer. Nobody's calling it out. Like, what's going on? Why aren't we not seeing this?
Right.
Because it's coming. I mean, because it's so bad and so common now with everybody, these government officials in the state level. It's on this, like, the state.
People are complacent to this. They don't. It's just no big deal.
I mean, it's like they come out to your house and just laugh in your face while they're taking your kid. I mean, that's what I felt like when they didn't take my. Yes, I mean, and they could get away with it, but because they've gotten away with it for so long. I mean, y'all, you got to think this. Did y'all ever know a Georgia? Her name was. Wait a minute, hold on. She was a Georgia Tan. Was that her name? Have you ever heard of Georgia Tan?
Yeah,
it's a woman.
I was just reading something about it. Maybe, yeah.
And she was a boss. She ended up adopting out or something with 5,000 kids, and it was and then come to find out when she passed or something, that's when they found all the fraudulent stuff. The Georgia Tan was her, and a lot of people don't talk about her. But so, I mean, it's been going, and that was like the 1920s, I think, or before. And it kind of reminded me of that stuff going on in with the two that had the colored children that adopted them. I was looking at, I don't know if it's his family or what, but the guy that got sentenced to the guy that was involved in that, her husband or whatever. There was an obituary for an older woman she was like 80 something, so it could have been his mother, but she was like a nurse and she owned a farm, and it was in Missouri or Minnesota, and they ended up and they lived there, and I was like, so I was trying to tie them two back together, like if that woman, because it was kind of like one of those scenes, like that's what I imagined, like,
right.
Is this woman's a nurse, and this was back in the 1950s or 60s, 70s, but she could have been one of those like Georgia Tan was and adopt, because let me tell y'all, I got family members. I got it. She's my aunt, but she's actually my mom's oldest sister's daughter. Okay, so she would be my cousin. But let me tell you, I don't believe there's any paperwork or anything. But she all these years we thought she was adopted. Well, right. she is in their hearts. My grandparents' hearts. They adopted her because they raised her. But when I tell you there's no paperwork. It just went. The people went with the flow. Like that was she was with the family, and it was just like it never. But there was never nothing on paper.
Right.
So that makes you think about those times, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s to 80s, even to 80s, 90s. That these kids, they were being adopted, but there's no paperwork, nothing.
Right.
So how many of them got done like that, but on the bad side, like the bad intentions? You know, it makes you wonder.
Right.
Because there's going to be there's nothing. And I looked into this, and I mean, I'm not trying to put anything on blast or nothing, because that she was raised, and she was raised by my grandparents, and she had a loving. She was still in the family, but that's how it was, and that was just in the 90s and 80s. Like, she was born in 77, so I mean, it wasn't that long ago. But it's just like you would have a child, and it was like, say if my son, but it was on paper though. Like my nanny, my papa was my best friend. Okay, y'all. Mother's Day weekend is a very rough weekend for me. My papa passed the day after Mother's Day, and he looked at my nanny. He said, "Mama, I can't hang on no more. Take care of that little boy." And I was pregnant with my son. And do you know that woman, my nanny, kept her word? And yeah, she's the reason. And I would love to show a picture of her, but I'll put it on a live, or I'll make a video. But I mean, you can see just how joyful she is, and how happy she is, just full of love. And if it wasn't for her, I don't know what would have happened, and where I'd be the day my son woke up and he wasn't talking or nothing. He went straight back to baby mode when he was 3 years old. So he never had no problem, nothing, not born with no developmental disability, nothing. And laid him down one night, woke up, and boom, he was. I hit my knees. Like, it was a very, very sad time. So if it wasn't for my nanny and my mother, I wouldn't. Like, them two. My mom and nanny didn't agree at the beginning, and my mom used to she was very upset, and she would dwell on the past. Like, she was stuck on the past. And I would call her, like, when I got out of jail, I called her from a private number, and she's like, if you can't call me from a regular number, don't call me. I'm not answering.
Right.
And I was like, well, Mom, I'm borrowing somebody's phone. Like, they asked me to do this. And I had to have a heart-to-heart with my mom. And I said, well, look, Mom, if it's got to be like that, I don't want to be able. I said, how am I going to move forward in my life and be successful and be the daughter that and the mom? And if every call I make to you, it's always something bad, negative towards me, because and I believe that's my the other family members' problem, is they're stuck in the past. They're dwelling on my past. You can't do that to someone. That's not fair to that person. I mean, life moves on without that. That's forgotten. That was in the past. I mean, yes, it hurts, but we can't keep looking behind us, because we'll never get anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, eyes forward. Keep your eyes on the prize. That's the only way that we're going to get this thing sucked in. Right. I know in what we're going through, a lot of these people want to throw our past up. Then that's what they do. And it's like it's mind manipulation. They're trying to hit you emotions. They're trying to get the best of us. They're trying to get us to express our emotions, our anger, and we can't do that. That's where we can't do that. We can't do that. So, but yeah, the martial law thing, I really feel, that may be what could be, and little old me, I'm not, I'm just Danielle,
Right.
I'm not in the shirt.
Danielle on a mission, that's for sure.
Look, when I have moments like that, like what told you about the martial law thing, that's one of my aha moments. Like, hey, like light bulb.
Right. Toilet paper and pencil, please.
Yes, and I thank God I found more paper, because I need it. Because because those moments are the best moments ever. Because I won't get another one like that. I'll tell you, because that was pretty, and that's why I wrote it down. And thank God I could read my handwriting and remembered because I with CPS and this nightmare, man, it's triggered ADD when bad, and like anxiety bad, and it's just I can't focus for nothing. It's horrible. Like it's worse than what it was. So, what do y'all think about the martial law thing, Insurrection Act? I mean, I don't know how, not since I came up with that or, researched that. I don't know if they're still talking about it, but I know 420 is coming up. So, but that's when they have to have the reports. The Secretary of Defense and Secretary of Homeland Security have to have reports back to Trump. That's the deadline. That's when they're supposed to have the reports.
So, I think Maine's probably one of the first on the list if that is what happens. But,
Maine, definitely. Maine, Arizona, Georgia.
Throwing out the government. I don't think you're going to see you're not going to see them sweet streeping.
No, it's going to be rough.
Everybody I think they're just going to put the government into place.
Well, in Georgia, let me tell you, in Georgia down here, they've been, I saw it on a live and I did not know it was, right here in like 4 counties, like away from me. And in the metro Atlanta area, they have been finding trafficking rings. They have been finding a bunch of kids. They have been finding a bunch, wow. It's right here. It's been here, going on all, and these are people we could stare at passing by on the street and you would never. And just right. What they just discovered, I don't know if facts or lies is in there. But we were talking the other day, and they found 113 trafficking victims in a county out here, and it just, you would never. But now they're cracking down on it down here because it's. I would never have known it was like this, and that was my biggest scare with my son, because I really thought that they were gonna put my son over the border because he was right there in Texas. That was my biggest worry. They were so quick to send him out to Texas, and that's the first thought I had was he's going to Mexico or something. Like, wow. And if I lost him, I know the families out there that don't have their Gunner said he knows nothing. Oh, where's Gunner? Is Gunner here? Oh, oops. Oh. But yeah. So yeah. I learned a lot. Yeah, but it's coming, y'all. But we need answers, yes, and they're still taking kids. That's what's bad. Like they're still doing all this stuff, and it's like it's not nothing's being done about it. They're not, and now they're trying to cover their tracks though. They're what?
Right in people's faces, right?
Yes.
Faces.
Yes.
They don't care who they're grabbing. They don't give a shit. They don't care.
And what was it? In Arizona, they had those pink shirts that said "Professional Kidnappers." Do you know where your children are in the back? Like what the?
They were.
And the pink ladies. I think what are they called? The pink ladies.
Pink ladies. Yes, you're right.
Yes, and they were social workers, y'all. Social workers.
Yep.
Right? And they went out on the town and. Like what? My God.
Yeah.
It's. I don't like these people in this business, like the profession, as kidnappers. Like what?
Right. They pay $30 for a frozen entree of some sort.
It's. And where's their mentality at? Like they need to be evaluated. Like their psychological thinking, their mental. That's just anybody to think. Anybody to want to hurt a child or treat a child like that is just not. They're wrong. These are kids. They're innocent. They don't do nothing. They learn from us. That's.
Yeah. And there's plenty to learn from. That's for sure.
And they're the ones that are being punished right now by these adults, and it's bullshit. Never in my life. And look, I wish we were in like the night, like when my papa was born, 1922. Boy, my grandma be out there, and yeah, you don't mess with the young. No, I remember. I was yeah. The times have changed, and it's just they're so comfortable with these things now. That's what's bad. They put these kids in with these predators, foster homes with predator. It's horrible. They don't even do background check, nothing. But they won't let me have my son.
Makes you sick to your stomach, you know? Makes you sick to your
It
stomach.
does. It does. Just to think. I mean, even on a video visit with my son, just to know that the dude that was on the other side of that video could look at me and just, you could see it in his eyes, and it's sickening. Just like, dude, really? I don't even want to go there. How I really felt, you know.
Right.
That off social media.
Cultural gentrification is what it is.
Yeah.
They,
Where are they at?
It's another genocide. It's another form of Auschwitz.
got my cherry. Yep.
Tell me it's not as impact or as it, and you say people will have that argument. Oh, it's not as bad
Yeah.
as that. Is it not? Are you
It's-
seeing what's happening to the
like-
kids? Are you seeing what happens to the family? Are you seeing that?
And they don't want to talk about it.
program.
right?
That
Yep.
is
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening to my son. Exactly. They were
you are.
like, it was,
This is cultural purification.
Yep.
It's
and
genocide.
it's genocide. Yep.
Sure
And
is.
and then they don't want to talk about that. They don't. Oh no, like that's. But you know what, people, we gotta talk about it, because otherwise it's never gonna be nothing done about it, because they can't keep it hush hush forever, you know. And it's
They should
crazy.
sure as hell try, though, that's for sure.
That's right. I was like, what?
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm having
that's a nice little discussion,
I was
Daniel.
gonna see that. I didn't mean to come in so strong. I heard you talking, and I
I'm
wanted
glad you
to.
did. Appreciate it. I welcome that any day of the week.
Look, I've been trying for 3 days. I'm just kidding.
ideals of, and they can use the words conservative, liberal, whatever you want, but the idea is there's nothing conservative and liberal about the Constitution. The Constitution is the absolute, and here's the rule. Everybody must abide by it. Whether you're serving in government, or you own a business, or you're a citizen, you know, or a free person, you agree to live by the Constitution. Okay? That's including doing business. You cannot do business unconstitutional. In other words, you can't go against the order. It even says in the document, it's the highest of the land, and it's not up for discussion. It's an absolute. But you get one side. Now you're having this communist, socialist society through these social programs, which are, you know, all these are socialist programs that they're under the word social. Every bit of it, and it's to make you more dependent on the government, and that they have longer solutions, and there's no freedom in that. And we
Right.
see this
And,
being
I mean,
in the Department of Education, where they have literally overthrown our country. And I agree with you, Danielle. I think the only solution for this is martial law. Gut this shit. Go right back to the Constitution and be done with it, and say now, and then hold them accountable that did everything that wasn't. I don't care how sweet they are. I don't care if it's Mr. Rogers. I don't care if they've got everything out the butt. A traitor is a fucking traitor.
Yep.
and they're just so, like, it's so bad. It's so open now. The martial law. I mean, it's got to be the quickest, fastest way we'll get answers, because they got to stop it it's so.
With like culture homes, what do they
Right.
do? They take you out of this family group and this belief system and everything else, and they
Mhm.
put you in one that supports transgenderism, this, and that's completely against your family. And part of the First Amendment is your religious freedom. It says I can believe and teach my children according to this and that, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. They're taking that and robbing that from your children, as well as they'll never feel safe in their life.
Yeah, never.
And then
Of life with this trauma. Home is not safe anymore.
and you know, I was always told that I wasn't safe even 3 foot from my front steps.
They have money that has the issues. It's the people that have none. But here's the other oxymoron. Well, they're not supposed to take your children just because you're poor. Really? Because they did it in North Carolina when everybody lost everything and they didn't have a home to go to, but they didn't help them.
Right.
Right, and then the stuff going on now with Kentucky and all that, they got hit, and you're not hearing nothing about that. Like,
Listen, when it does, you know what the people are going to cry for? Blood.
oh yeah, that's why.
You destroyed my family. I want you executed if you are found guilty of treason.
That's why 420 martial law, because of what you just said.
People are waking up to that.
You what?
I said, I
think
don't think people are waking up to it yet that are in these cycles. They think they're protected. I'm protected by the state. I'm protected by the
It's
state. We're not protected from the Constitution or the U.S. military or anything else. What was that whole thing about uprising and turning on the government and the military turning against you? What happens when it flips and they find out you're the unconstitutional freaking one, and then it's your house?
They're going after him.
That's right. An MRAT, fully loaded, putting you in zip cuffs and taking you away, bagging them in
And
packs.
these are our children, America's children. They're innocent. We're supposed to protect them. They've been picking on our kids, and hey, y'all already know we're going.
Now,
Marshall, hey, they're going to have to.
listen, you are still considered an accessory or a conspirator in this crime. You will not get away with it. Because they will find out who is stealing these children and doing these things. And trust me, they are doing it. They're doing it right here where I'm at. They're already advertising. Private companies come in. All you have to do, you can live in a crappy trailer, apartment, or anything else, and you get good. And all of a sudden, you get approved. Hey, guess what? Now you can put that down as income, and you can go get a house.
Yeah.
Wow. You mean the working man can't get a house, but if I kill somebody else's kids and take them and this and that, the government's going to pay for all that and I get to live for free? They say it's a liberal's wet dream.
Sure is. It sure
What do I do? I
is.
get to go to protests and I get to do this and I get to do that. I don't have a real job. I can't get my hands dirty. Oh, no, I can't go pick up garbage. No, it's below me to go work at the fast food restaurants. They're mean to all of us people and our waitresses.
They're all in their feelings.
Why would I do that? The government has made it easy that I can sit on my ass, not do a fucking thing, and pay all my bills, car, nice house, and all that. Wow.
And
we're not talking about the wealth. These are the people that are in society. They're of good people that are generally within. Well, we're going to say most of them through there are swing one way or the other from one end of the spectrum to the other. You either have the ultra religious right that goes into purity culture and everything else and all those other things, and they force that belief onto your kid, or it swings the other way and we're going to transform these kids. There's no in between. They don't select them like that. And here's the other thing for foster parents, and this is why they try to put foster parents with kids that are familiar. In other words, placing them with your family. Do not let them in your fucking house. They have no legal right. And if you're telling me I can't get a familiar or this and that unless you violate the Fourth Amendment right, y'all need to wake up because they're getting in your home. And they're taking in data and they're collecting that data, and there's no oversight on the data the CPS selects.
No transparency, nothing.
Yes, they are tracking every bit of it, and they can sell it to anybody they fucking want, including China. You see the tactical advantage of where this makes us vulnerable? It's an act of treason and sedition. Oh, we know where all the guns are and where the most resistance is. That's intel.
It's funny you say that, because they were talking on TikTok the other day that China was saying giving away like how the products are made or something, and they were telling them like how that's crazy. Athena said she had a fire. Athena, y'all safe? Y'all okay? She said she's been listening, but they had a fire. Are y'all all right?
Fire like a campfire.
Oh, okay. I was like, please. I had to tell my brother there was a burn ban, and then he Googled it, and he's like, sis, there ain't no burn. I said, bro, just listen to me, please. Please don't start.
Guys, Yeah,
not
burn
all,
permits.
Jonathan, it's not all done by Democrat liberals. It is moderates and anybody with their hand out that is getting rich.
Yep. It's a
And
it's a
you're an
hustle doing
LLC or a
that.
shell company or something like that. And here's the other thing. If
Money.
corporations can't be involved in government, why do all your senators and House of Representatives all form LLCs once they get into office?
Right. Exactly. And what I don't understand is why these CASA that are in some of these states, the CASA, the court, whatever, advocate, why is social workers and judges allowed to be and allowed to be on CASA? That's
Or not. That's the same thing as your judges in your state sit on your state bar to determine things like ethics and everything else in the whole state. Okay, there's not a corrupt system.
right.
Balance is. It's out of line. We all that attorney.
Mhm.
And they just
All right.
they built their own way.
Now catch this. You are required, as an attorney, you have to have 1A bar card that is a prerequisite, which is bullshit. It should be a test that should be done, especially off of constitutionality. And then you have to apply for a license, either a private or public through your state. Then is a federal license, but you have to have one in a state. When you do that, you understand that your local state person or your family attorney can't go into federal court unless he has the federal license. What better way than do a bunch of family attorneys that have no idea about constitutional law or anything, and they're trying to defend you? That's ineffective counsel for every single one, and every attorney out there is going to put, oh, he said, oh my God, he got us on the hook. Yeah, you weren't trained and you were part of that system. The state took and said this stuff. It stacked the cards against it. Why? You knew constitutional rights were going on. You see, and once all this blows up, they're going to go, we didn't know. How the hell did judges, lawyers, and everything else not see?
They all in cohorts together.
There's all this other stuff. Why didn't you look? Hey, there's a Fourth Amendment violation. That's okay. The state gave away your rights. It doesn't matter. We're going to adjudicate that way. That's what Trump's
you're right. And they've been
line.
Yep.
Do not cross.
Nope. And they crossed it. They crossed it. And they kept running with it. They were like,
all the fancy stuff they've got, the nice cars, the boats, and the big high-rise office, and all that other stuff.
those Gucci persons.
Is going to be seized by the federal government. And then there's the thing y'all wanted, wasn't it? Redistribution of wealth. Yes, you could take it from all the judges and lawyers.
And what's crazy is the way they're trying to get this money or this funding with the child support side now. It's like, wait a minute now. Like, even the wording, I just found my non-TANF to now it's a support 4D, like hello, and it's quadrupled. Somebody please tell me what's wrong with that picture.
It was called unconstitutional in the House of Congress on the Hill. That it's already established.
That whole damn bill is unconstitutional.
But every state still practices it and still collects. Why aren't they filing? Because they're filing in a state court. They sure as fucking give up that money because they're greedy little bastards.
Right.
So you take them
And they're
to the
crazy.
right court, the right jury,
They're crazy.
and everything else.
See that?
And,
Let's
and you take it out of policies and procedures.
see what that says. Non-TANF. Oops.
What are they going to do when everybody starts suing their state for everything that's been going on?
Right.
How close is it going to be?
Oh, that's why they put down here in Georgia, they got tort legislation now. Kemp put a limit the
Georgia's
state's
a tough
liability.
one. Georgia's got some tough stuff. You can't just walk down there and throw a lawsuit in.
Because he knows it's about to come. Like, he knows it's coming because they've been keeping it secret. Like, after that 13-month investigation, everyone that was involved in that investigation, which I was one of them, we got all the same answers. I think I got the same answer 4 or 5 times, but my son was still out in Texas. They weren't looking in removal or nothing. Why are they letting these kids just? My son was just gone. Like, I didn't even.
Your state has custody, but the other facility gets some of the money too. So they split it with other states and they cross state lines. But as soon as you cross state lines, you lose jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So you just transported somebody over state lines. That's a form of kidnapping according to federal law.
Mhm.
And
And
going
then they,
across state lines makes it what? Federal.
yep, federal, yep, because it's you're dealing with another jurisdiction. And that's why, but they can't confirm or deny. That's what Texas would tell me. After him being out there 2 years, I said, "Oh, don't y'all think y'all are a day late and a dollar short?" I said, "Now you want to start recording? Sorry, guys. Shame on you." I said, we can't confirm or deny unless you're on a video.
This was meant to change the ideals and the thought processes and dumb us down to get control of us, which is why public education is an absolute failure. I recommend to all parents to rip your kids out of public school and to find a homeschool program that is accredited. Why? Your kids are being indoctrinated. You don't believe me? Ask them to read the original Constitution and ask them to read it to you. Oh, they can't, so they don't know their rights. That's a form of treason. And to be honest, all the teachers and everybody else in the Department of Education should be held accountable for that.
Yep.
As well as
and I wish people would stop. But Truman has been hit. Have y'all seen what they say? Oh, y'all, the USS Harry Truman has been hit. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Again? Yeah. Uh-oh. Again?
Come on.
Yemen.
Maybe we should get some last thoughts in, guys. What do you think?
Yeah. Y'all keep fighting. Get ready. We got this, y'all. Let's stand together and then let's get ready. We're gonna bring our kids home. And I'm ready for battle. So just keep fighting, everybody. One is tough, but y'all know we're a pack. We're unstoppable, and we're not gonna stop until we get this taken care of. Because these are our kids, and they don't deserve this. So y'all keep fighting, and let's pack it up. All right. So
that's good. That's good. Gunner.
Knowledge is power. Power is freedom. Constitution draws the line. Bottom line, know your rights, exercise your rights, all of them, all the way through. They're guaranteed to you. And if you're confused with everything that's going on, probably you're fighting in the wrong court. But don't remember, there was a reason, once again, historically speaking, why the Second Amendment was put in there and why it was number 2. And if you don't understand it, you need to go back to the Federalist Papers and read why. You will understand what our forefathers were fighting against, what they were fighting for, and what happened. But once again, if you destroy the history, you destroy the knowledge. Guys, keep digging, keep looking, because there's people out there that's got stuff that they've burned, took off the shelf and everything, and it's all coming out.
That's right. Yep. All right, everybody. You heard it here first. That's all going to come out, and that's the truth. We all know this. It's all coming. So stay vigilant, stay tuned, and make sure you keep CPS out of your house. I'm the CPS Punisher, and we are out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Y'all be good.
Let's go. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate, segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate, do fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpent.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show
digested. Suspected something's going on. Chose to just neglect. Deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective. I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament. These children are protected, so I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed. Lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches. I can't take it on the cheap. Now, drink from a glass half full. I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition. Or I'm gonna start resisting, and then I pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get